last minute adjustments to the to the mount here. I've got the mount in the wrong place. Are we on? Can anybody hear me? Starman is here in the room. Who have we got? Let's see. Can you hear me? Have I got my microphone set? Hi Maria. Bit of a rush to get this one set up. Hi Duncan Letts. And anyone who joined my Wildside live stream before where I got absolutely drenched in Lytham. I'm nice and dry now. It is quite windy, yeah. I can hear the wind outside. We've got 10 people in. 8 o'clock on a Sunday, 30th of January, we are now. So, yeah, so in the last stream, I forgot to mention, or I think I might have mentioned the telescope, you know, the James Webb Telescope. I'm still trying to get this sort of adjusted right. So move it that way. How's that now? It's there. So that telescope, the James Webb Space Telescope, which some of you might have seen set off from French Guiana in South America, and it's there. It's in its place now. It's all the way out there. It's at L2, the Lagrange point L2. Hi Ash, 1,000,000 miles away from Earth. Hi Julie Miller. Hi Julie Clay. Hi to Chris B. Hi to Moonage Daydream, Belvedere. Can you get PT to check the comments on the Fleetwood vid? Someone is slagging him and thing. I wish I could, but I can't even comment on my other channel, Belvedere. I tried commenting on Wildside and nothing would work. I could only comment using Starman. I could only comment using this channel. So, I don't know why that is. Hi Stephen, glad you got back safely from Lytham. From Anthony and Fran in Staining, Blackpool. I was talking to someone on the stream. I said there's a windmill in State. You'll know it, won't you? The windmill with no sails on it. It's a house. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So the telescope is in its place. It's in the orbit. It's going to take a while before we see anything from it, though. Yeah. So there you go. We've got a few people joining us now. Leon Corns, Belvedere. 37 watching. Is it true that Elon Musk hit the moon? I think it did. I think there was a satellite or something that hit the moon. So yeah, I think or has it hit the moon yet or something? I don't know. The sails are back on the windmill now, Stephen. Which windmill's that? Is that the one it's staying in? It didn't have sails on it. 37 people watching. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Got 20 thumbs up. Let's see if we can get some more. I'm only on till 8:30 because I've got stuff to do. And I haven't got a quiz, I'm afraid, this week. So, no quiz. I haven't had time to do it. Right, okay. So here we are. If anybody's got any questions about what's going on in the night sky at the moment, just let me know. Everything's there's not really a whole lot going on at the moment, to be honest. There's no real, well, in the morning, I tell you what, I was out the other day, the other morning, and I saw a bright light towards the southeast. You know where the sun comes up? I saw a bright light there, and I thought, what's that there? I thought, what? I didn't know what it was, and then I had to look it up on Stellarium, and I thought it might be. Did you have the channel tab? I didn't show up. Yeah, and what it was is, you know how you might have seen the videos I've done before the new year on Venus, where Venus was setting off towards it. Yes, I have dried off. Yeah, it was setting behind the sun, and I was out there searching for Venus and Mercury and all those planets. Actually, it was this year, wasn't it? It was. It seems like it's a lot longer, but no, it was earlier this month. It was earlier this month, wasn't it? We were watching Venus and Mercury chase the sun towards sunset. Well, now they've swapped round the other side. So now Venus and Mercury are now round the other side of the sun. So you actually get to see them come up before the sun. Finding you sure about the staying windmill cells now. So you're not sure, you better go around and have a look. Yeah, so what's happened is that they've come around the sun, Venus and Mercury, and they swapped positions. And because they are inner planets, I can't really read these comments with my glasses on. And the sun in particular time play a part with the natural global warming. Do you think that the solar system and the sun in particular over time play a part with global warming? You know, how long till the James Webb Space Telescope is fully operational? I would say it's going to be sort of June. It could be June. It's a long time. They've got a lot of calibration to do. They've got to calibrate the telescope. All the telescope is all open now. It's all opened up. Everything has gone to plan, but it's going to take a while for them to set the thing up. It's going to need setting up, focusing. Why does Blackpool get really good sunsets? I think it's just because of where we are. You know, we have a nice flat horizon of the Irish Sea, and we get to see the sun go right down, and there's nothing to get in the way. Any good astro books, please? Not sure about books, Ash, but if you want to subscribe to a magazine, I would subscribe to the Sky at Night magazine. I don't think I've got one here. The Sky at Night magazine. Do you think you'll do your UFO vid on here, Crispy? I'll probably do one on both channels, but they'll be different. I think if I do a UFO video on my other channel, it will be an entertaining video. If I do one on this one, it might be a little bit more kind of scientific. So I think a different type of video for each channel. Well, I could just put the same video on each channel. Hi, Midlands girl. 47 watching. Hit the like button. So the telescope is in position, and they're just doing a load of work, and it's going to take a few months. I'm hoping that we see something well before June, because that's a long time to wait, isn't it? And they're talking about making helium-3 on the moon for a possible component of a fusion reactor. And will mining cause the moon harm? I think it's bound to happen sometime, isn't it? Mining. They've talked about mining asteroids, haven't they? You know, because there's lots of minerals on asteroids that we haven't got many of here. So it's probably eventually going to happen, isn't it? I can't see it doing any harm to the moon, though. I was up in Jodrell Banks if you want to visit it soon. Jodrell Banks is a really good place to visit. If you get a chance to go, I'd go to Jodrell Bank. Have you done any videos on post-processing? I'm really struggling to get my head around. Actually, no. I've not really done videos on that. It's not really my kind of thing. I don't think that I mean, I do my own post-processing, but I do it in a funny kind of way. There's other people that I think do it better than me. So I might try and do a very simplified one, you know, just to give you an idea how to do a very quick kind of edit just to improve you, but it won't be anything too deep. I'm sorry to hear that. Moon is dead in Julicate time. Just trying to read these messages here. Hi, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I might try and do one. Hi, Ramfan. We'll see if we can do one. Hi, Marilyn Kennedy. I am now that I've dried off. So I think that I do think that they will start to mine asteroids and things like that. And yeah, the moon is. You could probably send a probe up there, something up there, and bring it back here, and bring it. Well, they already have the astronauts put stuff back, but I think you could do an automated mission. You know, they might have already done it. I think the Chinese are looking to do it. The Chinese are looking to send stuff up there so that they can bring back some of the moon minerals. The moon is going to get a new crater. Yeah, when that SpaceX rocket hits it. So, yeah, I think that will will probably hit. I don't know, it might have already hit it, I don't know. But it's been causing a bit of trouble because, you know, it's just more space junk, isn't it? You know, there's a lot of space junk out there, and it's just more and more space junk. When a satellite hits something, or it's going to crash into the moon, there's going to be more debris, isn't it? I mean, it'll probably stay on the moon. I don't think it'll. I don't know. It's not going to cause the moon any damage. It's not going to. You know, I don't think it's going to cause it any damage. So, yeah, but it's not really ideal, you know, to have something crashing into the moon. But there you go. Yeah, so like I say, the James Webb Space Telescope, everything has gone to plan. It's in its orbit now, and it's kind of doing like a circle. I don't really know how it works. There's a video on YouTube somewhere where it's kind of orbiting around its point like that. It's not like doing a circle like that. I don't really know how it can do that, but it is. So, and that's what it's going to do. It's going to be able to see all the sky. Yeah, that's why the Chinese want to go there, because they can get a load of. Will I be planet spotting on here soon? Well, at the moment, no, because unless you're out in the morning, the only two planets you can the only real planet you can definitely see in the morning is Venus. You can also see Mars. If you're lucky and it's clear towards the southeast, you might just be able to see Venus and Mars. But Mars will not be very bright. Venus will be very bright. You won't be able to miss Venus. Before sunrise, have a look towards the southeast in the morning. If it's clear, and you might just see a bright dot fairly low down, that will be Venus. And to one side of that will be Mars. Do you think the Starlink network satellite was cool? Yeah, I think they will do eventually, Belvedere. I mean, they already are, you know, because there's that many of them. I mean, you might not be able to see them by eye, but they'll get in the way of photographs and images, because the professionals are always taking images of the sky to do research and that sort of thing. But they're going to be having a lot of these satellites going across from some of the frames, depending where they're pointing the telescope, really. Charging subject. What's your go-to lens for nightscapes, and what's your go-to lens for landscape? Well, usually for nightscapes, you want a really wide lens, I'd say. You want to try and fit as much in as you can. I used to have a Nikon 14 to 24mm, and I'd mostly use that at the widest end, because it would take in so much sky. So the wider the better for nightscapes, I would say. I mean, currently at the moment, I don't have that lens because I wrote it off. So I really miss that lens badly. The widest lens I have at the moment is a 20mm, and that's a 20mm f1.8, so it's quite fast. Only thing is, it's nowhere near as wide as the 14mm that I had before. So you don't need to have a wide lens to do nightscapes. You can do nightscapes with a longer lens, like a 24mm, or even longer than that. But the longer your lens, the less time you can open the shutter for. So if you have, like me, you have a 20mm lens, I can open the shutter for about 20 seconds and I won't get any trailing stars. But if I say use a 50mm lens, I can only open the shutter for 10 seconds at the very most before I start to notice the stars moving. And that's quite important if you've got your camera on a tripod and you want to take pictures of the night sky and you don't want to have stars trailing like lines instead of points. You've got to make sure that your shutter speed isn't too long. Do you watch Secure Team 10 on YouTube? It's post UFO. I think I've heard of him, but I think they're a bit far out there. They're a little bit far out for me. I think some of the stuff they do on there. Yeah, I'm not really into that sort of stuff. Going to be a quiz today. No quiz, I'm afraid, Anthony. I haven't had time to do a quiz today, I'm afraid. I'm only doing till 8:30 as well, so I haven't really had time to do it. So, is there going to be a quiz? No, there's not going to be a quiz. There's no way this baseball cap is going anywhere because this is exclusive. This baseball cap, this one. Looking at getting the telescope soon, says Julie Clay. I will check Venus out. Yeah, if like I say, at the moment, the only planets that you can really see at the moment, I always wondered where the sun goes when it sets. The other night I was trying to figure it out and then it dawned on me. The only planets, or the only real planet that you can see in the sky that's definitely easily visible right now, I would say, is Venus. And that you can see that before the sun rises in the morning. I saw it the other day. In fact, I saw it and it wasn't far away from the crescent moon. If you get up tomorrow morning and you look towards the southeast, where you see the brightest spot, ideally you don't want to, you want to be about 7 o'clock, I would say. Don't be much later than 7 because the sky will start to get bright. And when the sky starts to get bright, it starts to get a little bit hard to see the planets. But you should be able to notice a crescent moon, I think, tomorrow, possibly. It will be a waning crescent. And also you will be able to see a bright speck of light, and that will be Venus, if you're lucky. Yeah, so there you go. Michael's in the house. Hey, we've got 54 people watching. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs. Stefan Fan started using Sequitur to stack images last and did my first class, and it was awesome. Well, that's good, really. Sequitur is a program you can use to stack astronomy pictures, Milky Way pictures, to reduce the amount of noise. So the idea is you take loads and loads of pictures of the same thing, and they tend to look quite noisy, the individual frame. So you use a program to stack them, and it stacks. You usually have to stack at least 10. I would probably say 20 to 30 pictures. And when you get the final thing and you look at it, you notice that it's much smoother than the normal frames. So it gets rid of a lot of that noise that you get. Football on iPad, wife watching Dancing on Ice, I'm watching this on Iron Football, says Andy. I just bought a 7700. What should I look for in deep space? A 70, is that a 70mm 700 700mm 70 aperture scope? I can't really tell. I'll tell you what I use. If anyone's out there, anyone is a Mac user out there, I don't think that you can use Sequitur on a Mac. I don't think it works. What I use is a program called Starry Landscape and Starry Night Stacker. The two programs, Starry Landscape Stacker and Starry Night Sky. Starry Sky Stacker, I think. And the two programs are made for the Mac. They're made for Apple. And they do the same thing as Sequitur. They basically, you run a load of pictures in. So you take pictures of the night sky, you take loads and loads of pictures of the same thing, the Milky Way or whatever, and you stack them. I would say 20 to 30 pictures. I've done it quite a few times with my pictures, although I haven't done it for quite a while because I've not really been out. Michael says he's a Mac user. Well, Michael, you want to get Starry, I think is it Starry Sky Stacker? I think Starry Sky Stacker and Starry Landscape Stacker. They're the two programs. You can get them both and they're £40. If you want to get both, start a lens for a beginner on the Canon EOS 250D. I don't know much about Canon. You want to get, I would say you want to get a Tokina 11 to 16. That's for Alan. Get yourself a Tokina 11 to 16mm. Michael's a Canon man as well. A Tokina 11 to 16mm f2.8 lens. You should be able to get them cheap as chips. They're getting on a bit now, those. They're the best lens you can get for astro. A Tokina 11 to 16. There should be loads of them on eBay. There's so many of them about. Michael says 14mm f2.8. You can get what are they called? The Chinese, what, Samyang, that's it. Samyang are very good. You might be able to get a cheap Samyang, 14mm. But I think really on a Canon 250D, that's got the smaller sensor. 14mm might just be a little bit wide. 14mm is going to work out at 21mm in a full frame. It's wide, but it's not as wide as, say, an 11mm. I mean, Nick, I'm on, would a 14mm be good for that? Yeah, definitely. Shiny Chariot did it. I used to have a 14 to 24, a 14 to 24mm. It was the top astro lens in the world, probably, at the time. It was a top astro lens in the world. And now, well, I wrote mine off. Yeah. Wasn't even insured either. Yeah. So there you go. I have a Tokine at 11 to 20, f2.8, awesome lens, says Chaddy 74 MUFC. There you go. Leon Cohn says he has a Tokine 11 to 16. Yeah, yeah. I was going to get one of them once. You want to get the widest you can get, the absolute widest you can get. And then once you start taking pictures at the wider setting, I say this even for telescopes, get the least powerful telescope. And when you start thinking that, oh, well, I could do with going a bit longer, you can get a slightly longer version, and then you can do different types of photographs. Nikon D7200. Yeah, the problem is that when you use longer focal, if you're just using a camera to take pictures of the Milky Way on a static tripod, you have to limit your shutter speed to whatever lens you're using. So you need to work it out. There's a rule. I'll probably need to do a video on it to tell you all about the rule. Strictly speaking, you divide 500 by the millimeters of your lens. So if you have, let's say if you've got a full frame lens and you've got a 20mm lens on it like me, how many times does 20 go into 500? It goes in 25 times. So I can use a 25-second shutter speed and get away with decent stars, decent points of stars on my camera. If you've got an APS-C camera, if you've got a smaller, one of those smaller bodies, they tend to times the focal length. Canon times 1.6, so you have to take that into account. So if you've, say, got a 20mm lens on a Canon APS-C camera, that 20mm lens becomes like a 32mm. So then you have to divide 500 by 32. Do you see what I mean? You have to divide 500 by 32, and you're going to get something like, I don't know, 15. You're not going to get, your shutter speed is not going to be as long. It's going to have to be shorter to make up for the longer focal length with having a smaller sensor. It's all a little bit tricky, but hopefully I'll be able to do a video on it and try and clear it up a little bit. Yeah. Skytrack, about 500 real works just fine, says Chaddy. Vignetting, yeah, you do get vignetting on some of these fast lenses, yeah. I mean, for astronomy, vignetting isn't really that bad, actually. I must admit, I always thought Venus was the brightest planet. Venus is. Venus is the brightest planet. It is. It's the brightest planet we can see because it's close. Well, because it's fairly close to us, and it's also close to the sun as well. It's very reflected. Well, the planet itself is not reflected, but the clouds. Venus has like, it's just completely covered in cloud, and it just reflects all the light back from the sun. So the planet itself we can't even see because the clouds on it are that thick. We can't see through them. And in fact, even on the dark side of Venus, because Venus has so many clouds surrounding it, even when you're on the other side to the sun, it's still fairly light because all that cloud soaks up the light from the sun and it travels all the way around the planet. Whereas if you were on Mercury, if you were on the sunny side, you'd be getting blasted by the sun. And if you were on the other side of the sun, Mercury, you would be freezing. You would be absolutely freezing to death on the other side, and there would be no light at all because there's no atmosphere to drag that light around the planet. There's no atmosphere in Mercury. So Mercury has the biggest extremes of any planet. The biggest extreme of temperature, high temperature, to low temperature. Yeah, there you go. So it goes from the highest, not the highest temp, not as warm as Venus, but almost as warm as Venus, to the very lowest temperature. That's Mercury, the biggest contrast of any planet, the biggest temperature range of any planet. Take a look at that. Express. always wondered why the moon is pretty well exact distance from Earth and the sun's getting near perfect. Correct. Stefan Jefferson. Yeah, it's near enough, but it does obviously move sometimes. The difference is about, I think in miles, it's about 40 to 50,000 miles closer or further away. It's about a 50,000 mile range. And if it's at its closest, you get a very long eclipse. Whereas if the moon is further away, at its furthest point, it doesn't cover. The moon doesn't, it will not cover the sun completely, and you'll get a ring of fire. They call the ring of fire. So yeah, so even when the moon passes in front of the sun, it doesn't always cause an eclipse if it's in its furthest point away in the orbit, away from the Earth, at the time when it lines up with the sun. So yeah, there's all sorts of different eclipses you can get, but yeah, it is pretty much, yeah, it is pretty much in the right place to give us an eclipse. If it was, if the moon was flat on our plane with the sun, the same plane, it's 5 degrees above the plane of the solar system. It orbits at a 5-degree angle. If it was slap bang on the same plane as us, we'd get an eclipse every month. We would get a total eclipse every month, and we'd also get a lunar eclipse every month as well. What's the problem about the future and see what happens when the sun burns out? Well, I don't need to worry about that middling scale, because I don't think that we will be around then anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. The sun will be up tomorrow, don't you worry. You think the moon was once part of our planet, or do you think? Yeah, actually, I think I do, actually. Yeah, the moon sort of, something crashed into it and formed the moon. I think there was a name for it. I think it was called Theia or something like that. And then eventually the Earth formed, and then the moon formed, and we ended up in like a sort of stable orbit around each other. The moon continues to spin away. Yes, it does. Yeah, very, very slowly. We don't need to worry too much about that either. We've got 60 watching. Hit the like button. We've got 65 likes. If you haven't hit like, hit the like button. I'm going to see if I can do a video this week. It's really, really hard to do videos on this channel at the moment. I'm struggling to do videos. I've been doing stuff. I've actually been out photographing star trails in the park. I've been photographing star trails in the park last week. Got some amazing pictures. And you saw the video that we did up at Rivington Pike. I did that video. We managed to get a video up there, which is good. So I've done a couple of videos this year. I want to try and see if I can do a video a week. I really want to see if I can do a video a week. It's and then I can say, well, I've got 50 videos in a year, 50 odd videos, so that'd be good, wouldn't it? So I want to try and not make them too long as well. I want to try and keep the time down and try and stay to the point and try and explain what to do and all that sort of stuff. That's the idea anyway. We'll see. So yeah, we're just coming up to half past now, so I will be going off in a minute. But yeah, 65 people watching. We've got 67 likes. If you haven't hit like, hit the thumbs up. I'll be back again at 8 o'clock next week. Hopefully for a longer show next week. I'll have a quiz as well. Just been really busy today. Yeah, really busy yesterday as well. So next video we want 3 a week. Not one video, we want 3 a week. It says Ray the Disabled Picker. Yeah. Well, you get a live stream a week anyway. So that's 1. So another video a week, that'll be 2, won't it? So yeah, we'll see. I might even do an extra live stream. In fact, live streams are even so much easier to do because I don't need to think. I just talk and people ask questions and I can answer them. But when it comes to doing a video, I have to think about what to do. I have to have stuff there. I have to explain things and I have to show how I do it. If you have a look at my back catalogue, you'll see what I've done in the past. So there's plenty of stuff there that I show. If you need to photograph the moon or anything, I've got videos on that. If you want to find out how to use Stellarium, the best program for the smartphone, if you want to find out about the sky, I've done a whole video on using Stellarium. That was about 2 years ago. I went through absolutely everything. When's the best month to get the full Milky Way arch? Is it April or May? The best month to get the full Milky Way arch is any time from, I would say, April up to April to June, I would say, because once you get into June, you start to get the twilight. Probably April and May might be the best times, ideally, because at least you've got the dark skies in April and May. Once we start getting into June, you can still see the Milky Way, unless you live on the south coast. So unless you live on the south coast, you're out, you know, for the Milky Way in June and July. Because up here, where I am, 53 degrees north, it doesn't really get dark enough in June and July to see the Milky Way at its best. You can still see it, and you can still photograph it, but you're going to have a very bright sky. Thanks, Julie. Your pink supermoon video, the Tarsa, that was super. Thanks, the Abandoned Hunter. Thanks, Ash. Yeah, I'll do my best to try and get a video done this week. I really want to do one. And yeah, like I said, the best time to see the Milky Way, the full sort of arch Milky Way, and to photograph it, when it's fairly low down in the sky, is April and May. But you need to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. That's the trick. You won't see it at night. You won't see it in the evening. You need to be up in April and May. You need to be up and out at around about 4 o'clock in the morning. I would say probably 4 is about the peak time. 4 a.m. in the morning, April to May. That's the time that you need to be up to see the Milky Way, or to photograph the Milky Way, when it's fairly low down and when you can see it rising towards the east. So there you go. Yeah, I'll try and see if I can do a video, and I will do a video on the Milky Way when it comes around to it as well. I'll tell you. So anyway, thanks everyone for watching. We managed to get 60 odd people in, which is really, really good for this bit of a short video tonight. I'll be back next week with a long one, and hopefully I'll have a video in the week or something. I'll try and do a video for you in the week, because I've been meaning to do it. It's just really, really hard at the moment to do anything. But there you go. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hit the like button, and what's that? I would be great when I can go now. It'd be great if I could go out, could organise an event to go out and show you the sky, because nothing works better than having a workshop where people come along and we get to see the night sky, and I get to point out stuff, and I get to show them how to use the camera. That's the best way to do it. Now, it's still a bit early in the year to organise any, but if you keep watching, we'll see if we can organise. Yes, you have just Farang Travels, you've just missed it. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you again next week at 8 o'clock. See you later. Bye. I'll try and do a video for you in the week. I'll do my best. I'll definitely try and do a video for you this week. I want to do a Star Trails video, so watch out for that. Bye now.